All right, Shalom, Shalom. Kahalayam La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Much peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that are pushing this word in truth to sincerity of heart. Shalom. This is the brother Batak back again through the Spirit with another lesson, the Lord willing. This lesson is edifying. As you can see, today, earlier, it came out, or is it maybe yesterday? The doomsday clock was moved. So it says scientists move doomsday clock closer to midnight than ever before. So I'm gonna type in, click on this. It says what happens when the doomsday clock hits midnight. When the doomsday clock hits midnight, it symbolizes the metaphorical end of civilization. Well, Esau's civilization, because the scripture says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Let's go get it real quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 8. It says, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed." So Esau is the end of this current age, and Jacob is the beginning of the age after this. So that's why Esau is really, the way things are going in the world, Esau is getting closer and closer to his end, closer and closer to his doom, which is going to be nuclear destruction, according to Bible prophecy. Believe it or not, the Most High created those missiles. The Most High is the one that gave them the technology to create those missiles, because the scripture says no man can receive nothing that is given to him from heaven. And that wisdom that he has to create those missiles was given to him by the Most High. That knowledge. Let's see. Those are the weapons of the Most High's indignation, created for a very specific purpose. John 3:27, it says, "John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given to him from heaven." So Esau was ultimately given this. He was given a rulership, and also he was given an end to his rulership. Because his end is going to come by fire, as the Bible tells you. The Most High gave these devils that technology to create these missiles. Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire." The smith is referring to the scientists that are responsible for creating these nuclear bombs. They're compared to the smiths. Because mostly those nuclear bombs are made out of different metals. Scripture also refers to it as an iron weapon. So the smith is a metaphor for the scientists that are actually responsible for creating these missiles. And that you had the Manhattan Project. Let's see. Let's open another tab. Manhattan Project. Manhattan Project. All right, let's look at. All right, let's see. All right, the Manhattan Project was a research and development program undertaken during World War II to produce the first nuclear weapons. It was led by the United States, America, Babylon, in collaboration with the United Kingdom and Canada. The Manhattan Project employed nearly 130,000 people at its peak and cost nearly $2 billion US dollars, equivalent to about 28 billion in 2024. See, so they was responsible for creating these nuclear bombs, man. America created them and dropped those bombs. It says the Trinity test, the first nuclear explosion, atomic bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the only nuclear attacks in history, and it's not going to be the last ones. This is only the beginning. This is only the first ones that was ever used. But according to Bible prophecy, America is going to be destroyed by this same type of technology. Atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. On the 6th and 9th of August 1945, the United States detonated 2 atomic bombs over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, respectively, during World War II. The aerial bombings killed 150,000 to 246,000 people, most of whom were civilians, and remain the only uses of nuclear weapons in an armed conflict. Japan announced its surrender to the Allies on the 15th of August, 6 days after the bombing of Nagasaki and the Soviet Union's declaration of war against Japan and the invasion of Machuringa. So, this is what the scripture is referring to. This is what doom is about. Let's go down here. It says, when the doomsday clock hits midnight, it symbolizes the metaphorical end of a civilization. And what civilization is that? Edom. His end is coming, man. Due to global catastrophe. And you know what that catastrophe is going to be? The nuclear destruction. Let's go see what the word catastrophe means. Oh, wrong Bible. Catastrophe. Catastrophe. Here we go. Catastrophe. It says an overturning, a sudden end, overturn to turn around. So a catastrophe, reversal of what is expected, overturning a sudden end. So Esau's kingdom is going to come to a sudden end because of what? The nuclear bombs, the nuclear destruction. Where is that? Right here. It says it symbolizes the metaphorical end of a civilization, Esau's civilization, due to global catastrophe, meaning humanity has failed to avert existential threats like nuclear war or catastrophic climate change. It's not going to be climate change that's going to take this place out. It's going to be nuclear war, because that's the third woe of World War III, resulting in widespread destruction and an inhabitable planet. See, it's a warning, not a prediction, showing humanity is at a point of no return, facing potential nuclear conflict, climate collapse, or technological disasters. Though it has never actually reached that point, and hopefully never will. Yeah, right. See, these devils think that their end is not going to come. They're hoping that their end is not going to come, but guess what? It is. All right, so what midnight signifies? The end of civilization. Midnight represents the complete failure to manage threats and the potential end of human civilization as we know it. Not the whole human race is going to be destroyed. Esau's empire is going to be destroyed by fire, and then they're going to be hauled off into slavery. Damn, I just thought about something and it just escaped me. Oh yeah, because right now night meaning the end of Esau, because we're approaching that night, man. The scripture says when the night will come when no man can work. That's what it's just talking about. It's talking about the end of Esau, the end of his empire, the complete downfall of Esau, the time of tribulation, the time of evil, the bad times that are going to come upon the earth. Catastrophic events it suggests major events like a large-scale nuclear exchange, severe climate breakdown, which that's not going to be the cause, pandemics, or misuses of advanced technologies, AI, biotech, have occurred. Why it's important warning system. The clock created by scientists serves as a visual warning to the public and leaders about the severity of risks from nuclear weapons, climate change, and other disruptive technologies, which the nuclear weapons are the first example every time, because that's their main concern. Call to action. Moving the clock closer to midnight urges immediate global cooperation and action to reduce these essential threats. That's not going to happen. Prophecy going to be fulfilled, man. The Most High is not a liar. America's going to be destroyed by fire, like the scripture says. Now, I went on ChatGPT and I typed it in. Some of this information may be the same, but I'm going to read it. It says, why does the doomsday clock move? The doomsday clock moves because it reflects how close humanity is to a global catastrophe based on the current world conditions. It isn't a real clock. It's a symbol maintained by the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. They adjust it when they believe the risk to human civilization has increased or decreased. The main factors that make it move are nuclear threats. This is the biggest reason. See? Because the Esau is concerned about this. Wars, nuclear weapons, expansion, threats of use, breakdown in arms control treaties, or rise in tensions between nuclear powers push the clock closer to midnight. I'm not going to read climate change. It's not important. I'm going to read emerging technologies because we know the MOTB system is on the way. Things like artificial intelligence, cyber warfare, and biological engineering can be dangerous if misused or poorly regulated. If these grow without safeguards, the clock moves closer to midnight because his end is near, And this technological advances are actually prophecy. And ultimately, he's going to push that micro CHIP. Global cooperation or conflict. When nations cooperate, reduce weapons, and strengthen peace agreements, the clock can move backward. When mistrust, war, and division increase, it moves forward. And it's only going to move forward. Ain't going to be no peace. We're pushing towards war, man. And this is how things are going to go out. This is how it's going to end. So the clock moves because the world changes, risks rise or fall. Human decisions either make civilization safer or more dangerous. And it's only going to make it more dangerous because of the Most High is doing all of this. The Lord is doing all of this. The Most High is causing a division. The Most High, Yahweh, is causing the world to be steered towards war. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7, For I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. So the Most High don't want the nations to be at peace. He wants war, And I'm gonna bring out some precepts. I'm gonna read the NLT real quick. Isaiah 45 and 7 NLT. It says, I create the light and make darkness. I send good times and bad times. I, Yahweh, am the one who does these things. So the Most High is in control of everything. And he said he's going to bring an end to Edom by fire and by war. Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be overthrown. So the Most High, Yahweh, is causing all of this war to be prepared for the end. This is the scripture to back it up. Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, said Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. Even all my fierce anger for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the Most High Yahweh is gathering these armies together for war. The valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, the land of the Most High's judgment. Joel 3 and 1, at the time of those events, says Yahweh, when I restore the posterity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. The Jehoshaphat is a Hebrew word, Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh judge, which is in Western Asia. It says, there I would judge them for harming my people, talking about the Israelites, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up my land. See? So the Most High is gathering these nations together for war. So who are these people to think it's going to be stopped? No, it's not going to be stopped. The Most High is doing this. The Lord is doing this. So if he said there's going to be war, there's going to be war. And ain't nobody going to change it. Can't nobody stop these prophecies, man. Esau can't stop these prophecies, man, if you wanted to. Because he's being controlled. The Most High is controlling everything. He's controlling these nations and making them go to war. This is the book of Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So if the Most High wants a king to go to war, guess what? That's going to happen. Jeremiah 28 and 8, NLT says, the ancient prophets who preceded you and me spoke against many nations, always warning of war, disaster, and disease. See? So that's coming to the same thing is being warned by the prophets, because the same thing is going to happen. War is going to happen. Disaster is going to happen. And a lot of disease is going to spring while in the midst of it, man. So the Most High is in control of all of these things. The Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, wants war, because that's how Edom is going to be destroyed. Thus with fire, violence, with fire, You know, that's how Edom was reserved. This is the day, the special day the Most High reserved for Esau to go down by fire. So yeah, the doom is coming for Edom, you know, and he can't stop it. So the so-called doomsday clock moved closer to midnight because we're getting what? Closer to Esau's fall, closer to Esau's destruction. And that's not gonna stop, man. So Lowell in this quick lesson was edifying. Just wanted to do a quick lesson on this because we're speeding fast towards the end of Esau, and there's nothing that they can do about it. And after Esau is destroyed, and this let's look up the word eon, because eon, Greek, in the Greek meaning. All right, it says the Greek word eon primarily refers to an age, a long, undefined, indefinite period of time, or a special epoch. It says time and duration represents a span of time with a beginning and end, such as a lifetime. So age or world refers to a particular period in history, the present order of things. So age, we at the end of Esau's age, you know, a period of time that has a beginning and an end. So we're literally at the end, and we can end this manifest. So Lord, in this quick lesson was edifying. I'm going to close out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom.